Hello viewers, in today's class we are going to discuss one important problem from definite integrals, right? And here we'll consider this problem and we'll solve it by using the properties of definite integrals, right? So let us start and let us first call this integral as I, right? So we have to integrate this function from minus pi to pi e raised to x sec raised to 4x and e raised to 2x minus 1, right? So we'll solve this integral by using the properties of definite integrals, right? So let us take the integrand as f of x, right? So f of x is e raised to x, and here we have secant x raised to 4, and we have e raised to 2x minus 1, right? So now here we'll see whether this function is even or odd, right? Because here we have the limits from minus pi to pi, and from definite integrals we know this important property, that is minus a to a f of x dx is equal to 2 times 0 to a f of x dx if f of x is even, right? So this integral, that is minus a to a f of x dx, is equal to 2 times the integral 0 to a f of x dx if f of x is even function, right? So even means f of minus x is equal to f of x, right? And this integral is equal to 0 if f of x is odd, right? So odd implies that f of minus x is equal to a negative of f of x, right? So here we'll first test whether this function is even or odd, right? So now here let us replace x by minus x, right? So we'll get f of minus x, and in this expression we'll replace x by minus x. So we have e raised to minus x and secant of minus x raised to 4, and we have e raised to minus 2x minus 1, right? And from trigonometry we know that secant of minus x is equal to secant of x, right? And here we have the power 4, which is even, so secant raised to 4 of minus x is equal to secant x raised to 4, right? So now we have e raised to minus x secant x raised to 4, and here we have e raised to minus 2x can be written as 1 over e raised to 2x minus 1, right? Now let us simplify it. So we have e raised to minus x secant x raised to 4 and 1 minus e raised to 2x, and here we have e raised to 2x, right? So now we can write e raised to minus x, and this term can be taken to the numerator. So here we have e raised to 2x secant x raised to 4 and 1 minus e raised to 2x, right? And see here e raised to minus x plus 2x, right? Because bases are same, so we'll add the exponents, right? And here we have secant x raised to 4, and here we have 1 minus e raised to 2x, so we can take negative sign outside, or we can take negative common, so we have minus e raised to 2x minus 1. So this is e raised to x, and here we have secant x raised to 4 divided by negative of, here we have the negative sign, and we have e raised to 2x minus 1, right? So now we see that this function is our original function, that is f of x, and here we have the negative sign, so this is minus of f of x, right? So we have obtained that f of minus x is equal to negative of f of x, which implies that f of x is an odd function, right? So this is an odd function. So by this property the value of this integral is 0 because the integrand is an odd function, right? So the value of this integral is equal to 0, right? So this is how, by using the properties of definite integrals, we can evaluate these type of integrals.